Success and Blessings podcast. So, welcome to our first official episode. This is season one, episode number two. Um, and as you guys can tell, we had Austin Sanctuary, and that totally changed. Um, we left off with that on season three, episode number seven, and an unofficial episode number eight. And now we started at a brand new season, which is season one, like a fresh start with the MSB podcast, Motivation, Success, and Blessings. So, welcome back to the MSB podcast. Lying here in my bed, never gonna be alone. 'Cause with you, I'm finally coming home. I wanna be with you always. Welcome back to the MSB podcast. I hope everybody is having a good Wednesday. Today's episode, we are talking about budgeting, money, and all with it. So, budgeting and money, how to save money, how to be responsible with money. Um, we're going to talk about the cash stuffing method today and just discuss, how to have a successful life, successful finances, and live a successful career. We're going to talk about some careers that I think are good to get into for medium class, high class, low class. Um, and I'm not really going to mention low class. We don't want to get into low class because that's Burger King, McDonald's. So we want to talk about medium class today and about high class finances and all of that here today on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday here with the MSB podcast. So again, I hope you guys are having a good day today. So let's start off with money. So I want you to firstly think about your money situation. How much do you have in savings? How much do you have in checking? Do you have any money invested? That's a point that's not for me because I'm not the person to invest my money. Um, it kind of goes along with my thoughts on gambling. I just don't want to invest money and end up losing it. I don't want to go gambling and play with some money and not win any. And then I end up throwing 100 or 200 away for gambling. I don't have my money no more, even though I could win. Who knows? Whatever the max is for the casino or bingo or lottery tickets or whatever that case may be. That same thing goes into investing. I invested 2 to 3 times. I think it was 3 times I invested, and I invested into Bitcoin, and I used Cash App stocks, which is in Cash App. And I bought Bitcoin, actually, just Bitcoin 3 times. I forgot, I did put some money on Coca-Cola, and I think I put some money on some kind of like team. Um, but yeah, if you go into your Cash App and you click invest in stocks, you can start investing, which is $1. And yeah, Tesla currently is up 4%. So the thing is, if you want to invest, all that I can say, which people are going to be like, yeah, no duh, but some people don't know. Like, I did not know that you bought low and sold high. I thought that you bought high and then left it go up even higher. And that's where most of my mistake came from. I invested in like stocks that I just saw that went up, like Tesla, for example. I was like, oh, up 4%, let's invest some money. And that was a mistake. Don't do that. Um, the biggest daily movers are this one here, Select Quote. They're up 40%. All time they went down 93. So wait till they drop, then invest, and you got to have time in it. But I did Bitcoin. Um, I, I put some money in Bitcoin and seen if I would get more back, like I invested in Bitcoin. And it ended up taking me, I waited like 4 months and Bitcoin just went down and down and down and down. I invested like, I think like $6. I'm poor, okay? Not poor, but I didn't want to waste my money. So I'm like, let me just invest. I $6. Then I got like a reward from just like Starbucks, the boost on Cash App card. That went in there. I think I had like $8 total invested in Bitcoin. And It went down, 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 down. It went up, it went down, down. It just kept on this like repeated scale. I never got my more than my $8. Um, it never went to where I would make a profit. So after months, I waited till I thought it was at the highest that it was going to be. I just sold out and I lost $2, which $2 from $8, that's a lot. Like $2 is not a lot, but like that's a lot of a portion. Um, so that means like if I would have invested like $500, I would have lost probably like, gee, let's see, $2 out of $8. What's that percentage exactly? Isn't that like I don't know. I don't feel like using my brain. Alexa, what is $2 out of $8 as a percentage?
One quarter as a percentage is 25%.
I'm an idiot. It's a quarter of it. Alexa, what is a quarter of $1,000?
From
Three.
OrlandoCentury.com, a
No.
spokesman for Stack,
Two.
a New York
No.
coin dealer, said that the 1980
Alexa, please stop. 1,000 divided by 4 will give you that. What is that like? 200 and yeah, 250. So I would have lost $250 if I would have invested $1,000 in a Bitcoin. So if you're good at investing, if your mother or father or whoever knows how to invest, that was something that you've done in your family or something that you think you'll be good at, go try to invest some money. Um, Moving on to a new topic about budgeting. How do you budget to make your life? Money is not the root of all evil, but the love of money is the root of all evil. Now, personally, as myself here, I will say 100,000 million times over and over and over that I really dislike, and I even sometimes say I hate money. Um, I know people are like, I love money. Money is my whole thing. I love it. And I like money, but the problem that comes along with that is I money has destroyed so much for me, so much for my family, and so much for my friends. Um, all my life, it has been a constant worry growing up, always about money, and money has been the root of all evil in my home. Um, every argument that my mother and my stepfather had was all about money. Every argument that my grandmother and my grandfather had was all about money. My grandmother has a seriously bad addiction and bad relationship with money and gambling. So that's like another whole entire situation that comes into play with that, and it's just like I had a really bad relationship with money a few months ago, um, years ago. I mean, all up till now. I was worshiping the Lord, but I was always checking that bank account, always logging in, always checking, always checking, always checking. Um, and I would get a weekly allowance from my grandfather, and I would just go and blow it at Target or wherever I wanted to go shop at. It would get to the point where I'm like, oh, I need a little loaf of bread. I can go into Target and get like $1.75 for a loaf, right? Walk into Target, I'm walking in the door, checking my bank account because I'm that poor that I don't even know if I can even buy a loaf of bread. And I open my bank and I don't even have enough for a loaf of bread. That's where I finally took point and I'm like, no, something needs to change. This can't happen the same way and same way and same way over and over and over again. Um, I need to take time and I need to do something about this money problem. I need to take time and focus on it. I need to quit spending so much. I need to quit always wasting, wasting, wasting money. Oh, I want to buy a new glass at Target to match my set, or I want a new tumbler. I want a new phone. I want a new phone case. I want to, just buy, oh, I want new pens. I want to buy a whole bunch of notebooks. At one point, I just went to Target and I bought like 20 of these notebooks. Which, yes, they are helping me now, but that was like 40 some dollars that I just wasted on notebooks that I did not need at the time. And I still have a big stack left that I'm not even using. So what I'm trying to point out to that is you need to create a budget for yourself, and that's where the cash stuffing method comes in. If you don't like to use cash, you can just like put it in your head, but that's the problem with me. I couldn't budget my money. So if I got it in cash, and that's what I started doing like a year ago, and I got really far ahead. Um, I was at M&T Bank. I would go to M&T Bank and I would get out um, cash. So my weekly allowance, for anyone wondering, is I give myself $200 to spend and save. Save's the big one. But the thing is, I used to spend all of that. I used to get and pay for $70 to $80 worth of Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts coffee. I would go and I would buy just whatever. I mean, ice cube trays, lights, plants, fake plants, blankets, just anything I saw, anything that I went into Target. Oh, it's on clearance. I gotta buy it. And I still do buy things that are on clearance. Every time I see something on clearance, that's a really good deal. I'm gonna get it. But I used to buy stupidest things on clearance that I didn't even need. I just wanted to buy it because it was a good deal and I felt like I was inclined to buy it. And that's not the truth or the way at all. Um, and that's when I'm like, no, this has to stop. I need to save some money. I really look up to my father. I have a father, but he does not really care about me. Um, we don't have a good relationship. Him and my mother divorced back in, I think, 2010 or 11. I think it was 2011 or 10. I'm sorry. 2010, they divorced. And yeah, she got full custody and all of that, and we just went with the flow, and it's been a good thing, nothing wrong with that. I'd have never liked him anyway. Even when we were living over there, as I was younger, I can still remember, he was very loud, very always screaming. He was never happy. He came home, he expected a full dinner on the table, perfectly done, big old beautiful meat like a steakhouse, right when he walked in the door. Like if he walked in and my mother's like, "Oh, it's gonna be like 25 more minutes." Well, why didn't you start earlier? I just came in the door. I'm hungry. You can't stop at McDonald's for a cheeseburger to hold yourself off till dinner's ready, or you can't grab like a soda or something to hold yourself off till dinner. And, then she would go out to eat with my parents, my grandparents, sorry, grandparents, and he would yell, "Hey, bitch, you should have been cleaning my house all day, doing my laundry, instead of going out to eat with your parents." And she's like, "Well, I didn't pay for it. They said they were going to pay for me in Austin, and we went out to eat. I don't care. You could have been doing my laundry and cleaning my house today. You shouldn't have went out to eat. You don't need to go out to eat. There's groceries here at the house." So let me understand this. Since you're a wife now, you can't go out to eat with your old parents from your normal biological blood family. You now like are limited to your new family. Is that what the problem is? There's been stories that she's told me that he's gotten so angry he's thrown her on the floor and tried to strangle her to death. Just total abuse, physical, emotional, and mental abuse. We have all came from that. I have never been really abused by him except only one way, which was just emotionally. um, he has a very, very bad temper. He would be doing something with his weed whacker or something and it doesn't want to start. He would slam it on the ground, throw it across the yard, slam it on the ground, kick and punch stuff. I don't like that. And that's why I have so much anxiety to this day because of him. So moving on, I still look up to him though for budgeting tips and money because he is a really good budgeter. He knows how to budget and save his money. So I was like, okay, I need to be like my father and save. I started doing that with my M&T Bank. I would go each week, and I wouldn't have much extra because I was buying Starbucks. Um, so 200 minus 70, that's only like 130 left. Then I go to Target and spend like 20 or 30, 40. I'd have like 60 or 70 left each week. So I would usually take like 40, usually like 20 to 40 out and just put it in cash in my wallet just to save. And as time went on, I kept doing that, doing that, doing that. I got a good bit of money saved. Well, then my grandfather, I helped him with like this really, really big thing that we were working on doing. and it was called a I'm sorry, I lost my track of mind. Anyway, yeah, I apologize. I was helping him with a thing with the house, so I did a whole bunch of work. We got some cash out in the bank. Since we did that, he gave me some money, and I put it in my bank, and I still was like I was really far ahead now at this point. Um, I now had a good chunk of money in the bank. I had like, let's see, what did I have? Um, yeah, I don't know. It was like 800 or something, and I was really proud of that. So anyway, moving on from that, um, I blew through all of that money. Kept buying stuff at Target, kept buying at Target, buying at Target, buying at Target, buying at Target. Time went on, time went on, time went on, and eventually I just am like, this has to stop. I'm sorry, like it needs to stop. So anyway, I had to get a new checking account. I went to a new bank, Orstown Bank, put money in there. I didn't hardly have anything in that account. I was pretty far back up there. I was like at 350 maybe in there. And time went on, and finally I kept building up, building up, building up over all this time. I dropped down. I lost it all again. The new year was already in. We were already in the new year. So I told myself and I prayed and I said, Lord, and God will help you with whatever you need help with if you just go to Him. I know some people are like, no, I'm not spiritual, I'm not Christian, I'm not religious, no, thank you, and that's fine. Okay, fine. But I am. I went to Him and I asked Him to help me with my money and let me get some money saved up and not spend so much and have a better relationship with money. And I asked Him to help me with money. Excuse me. So that's what He did. As of today, May 17th, I am going to be counting money that I'm receiving on Friday, May 19th. Looking in here to this cash budgeting, I took a whole bunch of cash out. I hit a goal of $500 that I had saved in this cash stuffing envelope system. Now counting, I have 20, 40, 6, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 5, 70. That's right. I took money from my wallet. Plus, I have some in my wallet, so it comes out to be 285. Plus, I have $10, I think. No, I don't know what I have. I have just like money just like floating around in different little places that I have hidden my money from that I'm not even like taking time to even acknowledge. So, right now, on top of that, in my checking, I now have 299, but I had to pay something that's coming back for right now. It was like money that I had to use in the meantime. I'm sorry, 248. Plus I'm getting 400 plus 170. So that's gonna be 570. Okay, so 570 plus 248 is 818 plus 285. I have $1,103 saved. Guys, I just can't say enough how thankful and how grateful I am to have that. Like I previously stated, life is not all about money, but it plays a big role in it. So I wanted to talk in today's episode and just bring you guys through how to budget. So if you have a problem with the store, I'm going to give you three suggestions. Your first big suggestion I'm going to tell you is when you are going into the store for a few items, go into the store. Number one, buy the cheaper products. You don't have to buy everything name brand. I will buy things that I think need to be bought in a name brand, like medications, only name brand usually. But I do like Target's brand. I don't mind using their medication and stuff like that. When I'm going to Walmart, I hardly get anything Walmart brand because I just don't find that it works as good. But Target stuff, totally fine. Um, but like the only things that I buy that are name brand is like dog food and like cat litter and like actual like grocery items. The rest, I buy other stuff, and you can save $2 to $3 per item just by buying the cheaper brand, the like store name brand, like the base brand. Um, and on top of that, use the Walmart or Target apps, or if your store has one. So whenever you use those apps, or if you want to make a list, you can go off that list. I like the app because I have all the things that I want, and I usually put them in order. And then I just go, okay, here is all the medical section. What do I need in medical section? Here is all the beauty section. What do I need in beauty section? Here is all the pet section. What do I need in this section? And I just go on my Target app, I look in the app, and I click on the exact item that I want. Okay, I need this Dove body wash in this exact scent. It's an aisle C1, C2, whatever aisle number. I go exactly in that aisle. I go right to that. And whenever I go in that aisle and go into that section, um, I just look for what I want. I grab it, put it in my cart, basket, carry it, whatever, go on to my next section. I don't play around, whatever. Because before I had a major addiction to buying whatever I wanted. I was an impulsive buyer. Um, I can happily say now that as of today, May 17th, 2023, I have money in the bank. I walk in the store and I think of my money that I have in the bank, and I'm just so grateful that I'm sitting on this great cushion. And for anyone that's sitting there might be thinking, well, what is $1,000 now? Well, I'm 17. I don't have a job because of different limitations that have been put against me in my area for my school district. My school is a great school, but I have to get my work permit instead of my online school. I have to go to my public brick and mortar school, and they're terrible. They have limitations on what jobs I can work, and Target's not included, and limitations on hours, so I can hardly make any money. So this money is what my grandfather has been giving me to help me out, and I'm so thankful for every single penny of it. Um, and I've cut out my coffee source for $70. That saves me $80 a week, guys. $80 every single week. That was almost $400 a month on just coffee. That's $18,000 almost a year on coffee. Absurd. So every I'll pick like one day usually. Some weeks I'll go 1 or 2 days. Some weeks I'll go 2 days to Starbucks and get a coffee. But most of the time it's only like one day out of the week. Some weeks I don't go at all for any kind of coffee. Um, I can always check my Starbucks app and see when the last time I went to. I know Dunkin' was like a month ago. So I've been recently going to Starbucks. My mother bought me a coffee. Usually I never even go unless she wants a drink. Like she'll just say like, "Hey Austin, I want a Starbucks drink. I'll buy everybody one. Let's all just go get, a drink." And I'm like, "Okay." Um, so that was May 15th. So I haven't had a drink in I guess it was just 2 days. But anyway, before that it was May 14th. May 14th was on Sunday. I don't even remember even going on Mother's Day. But yeah, that's right. I guess I did. Yeah, that's right. And before that, it was May 11th, so it was Thursday. Before that, it was May 9th. And before that, it was May 4th. And before that, it was May 3rd. So I'm going pretty often here in May, but that's because I have some more money in the bank. I don't have to worry so much. Then it was May 2nd. Before that was April 22nd, 7th. Here's where the big jumps come in. Here's April. That's when my sister was at her Keystone. April 21st. April 20th, April 8th, I went without a coffee for 12 days. That was almost 2 weeks with no Starbucks drink. Before April 8th, April 7th, April 4th, April 2nd, March 29th, March 26th, March 24th, March 22nd, March 21st, March 20th, March 19th, 18th, 17th, 16th, 15th, 14th. As you guys can see, March, I was going basically every single day. So I wanted to put this all together. I wanted to give you guys my full on thoughts about this entire budgeting thing. So just cut back what you don't need on. Just put it in your mind. I need cash more than I need a Starbucks drink. Go into Target. The best mix that I can tell you guys to make a coffee at home. I like them. I don't know if you guys will, but I go into the store. I buy a Starbucks um, roasted iced coffee, the dark roast. I buy an International Delight or a Coffee Mate creamer. I prefer the International Delight. Right now, my favorite, probably out of all the flavors, is caramel macchiato or vanilla. And then I go and I get Tirani vanilla syrup and Tirani salted caramel syrup. So all that together, each syrup is $5. That's $10. Those syrups last me about 2.5 weeks of make a coffee every single day. And that's me and my sister both 2 times a day. Um, and I usually buy two dark roast coffees for each thing. So that dark roast coffee is $10 around for two. And then my creamer is like $6. So that's 16, 26. $26 for like 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks. That is saving me literally tons of money. That is like coming out to be like $35 a month instead of spending 400 a month at Starbucks. I would spend $11 a day at Starbucks. Absurd, right? Like, I mean, think about what you're spending on stuff like this. I mean, just think about what you're spending, um, because it really adds up. Um, and I want to also bring up the fact, if you do have a gambling problem or anything, try to go get some help. Talk to your family. Maybe you guys can like, get checked out, all of that, and you guys can just talk and discuss some stuff. Um, but I want to go over how bills are done now. So I want to give you some like help with like financial bills. So I like to have a calendar on my wall. Um, I like my digital calendar, but I do love to have a calendar on my wall for me just to glance at wherever I'm at, in my house or my room. And I like to write out all the paydays. I circle the number and then I write down what needs paid that week. And then if I want to go even farther, which I usually do go this far by just doing 1 week at a time, and I write out the entire paycheck that I'm pretty sure we will get whatever, and then write down all the bills, figure out how much is left. So, but you can go way ahead. I went way ahead like in March, like 2 months. Um, but I write down like all the stuff. So like looking at my calendar now for Friday the May 5th, um, I have church, errands, Upstart, Kia. The 12th is Kia, church, phone bill. Kia is like in between. The 19th, BMW, One Main Financial. The 26th, PP&L and phone bill. PP&L is canceled. We don't have to do that right now. That waits another month. It's already taken care of. Um, so, I just want you guys to take a note to that and do the same thing. Know how much you're going to need for, you know, your finances, your budget plan. Make a plan to pay your finances. List everything down. Make videos. Work side jobs to make some more money if you'd like. Save, save, save. Um, do the tip of whenever you go in the store. 1 second. Sorry, I'm back. Whenever you go in the store, use that app and go right to the aisle, pick up what you want, go to your next item, go to the aisle, pick it up, get out, next aisle. I'm at the point now where I can go look around the store and be like, oh, that's nice to have, but I don't want to spend the money right now. I'm not buying it. So, just keep that going and keep funding your account because there's going to be a day where something comes up where you go out in your driveway and you try to start up your car and it won't start. You need a new battery and $400, $500, $600 for some of these new cars. I mean, just my mother's 2016 Chevrolet Malibu, she had to go buy a battery and she didn't even buy like one of the top brands and it was like a $700 battery. Um, and I can only imagine how much mine is in my BMW because it runs literally everything. And before we get into this, just because I own a BMW does not mean that I'm rich. I want to just say that right away. Okay? My family is middle class, and the bills that we have for each month, you have to understand that middle class means our entire family and the bills that we have are ridiculous. Each week, it takes pretty much everything out of the account to pay everything that we have. So there needs to be a budget plan. And even if you're rich, you got to have one anyway. Some people don't, but that's the problem. That's why they will never be happy, or they won't be able to have a good relationship with money. So anyway, that is pretty much it for today's podcast here at the MSB Motivational Success and Blessings podcast. I want to come and join us together for a quick prayer, one for me, and of course, one for everybody else here at the MSB podcast. Um, so, if you guys don't like prayer, you don't have to attend the prayer, but if you would, I would highly appreciate it. But let's come together. We're going to firstly pray for this new business that I'm doing, this new MSB podcast, this new nonprofit organization. And then we're going to pray for everybody else to help with your money. We're going to do two different prayers slash blessings today. So let's go ahead and pray. I am asking us all together here at the Motivational Success and Blessings podcast. We are all coming together today in prayer to pray that my business, the MSB podcast, will have fundamental support and provide the greatest support to everybody. And we can start adding in some advertisements here and there. And we can work together and we can make some money with this new podcast and make it a good and fundamental business for me and help everybody else in many ways to help them find steadiness, to help them find a new beginning and a new balance in their life and not always be wobbly on a teeter totter. So, Lord, again, we all come together in prayer today to please help and bless our business, the MSB podcast. Amen. And again, let's come together again and do a prayer for everybody else here at the MSB podcast. Let's pray. Lord, we all come together here today at the MSB podcast because we want to help everybody out there who is listening. Anybody who is going through trouble right now, this is a message to them. This is not just a coincidence that they're hearing this podcast or they discovered this podcast. They are supposed to be here if they're listening. And we want them to come through today and we want them to work on their budgeting. We're asking you to help them, Lord, with their money, help them budget, help them create a savings, help them have a comfort cushion of money underneath of them. And again, we can all come together here today at the MSB podcast to help perform that for everybody here who is listening today to create a financial wealth, but also a new wealth in their life and their family. Amen. So, thank you guys all for coming into the MSB podcast today, the Motivational Success and Blessings podcast. Before we do end and dismiss out here, I do want to let you guys know that our YouTube channel is up and running. If you're listening on a podcast, we have a beautiful, brand new YouTube channel, and it is called Motivation, Success, and Blessings Podcast on YouTube with the tag at the MSB. Excuse me. If you're listening on YouTube, we also have a brand new podcast that's up and it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Podcasts, it's on all major podcast platforms, and you can find us at Motivation, Success, and Blessings Podcast, anywhere that you listen on major podcast platforms. On top of that, lastly, we do have a Twitter page, and that is again at the MSB Podcast. You can find us on Twitter with Motivation, Success, and Blessings, and that will give quotes, and you will feature different sessions and more stuff here on the Twitter page and find new beginnings in your life. So thank you guys all for coming into the MSB podcast. I wish you financial wealth. I wish you wealth in your entire life. I wish you to help you find new beginnings, new futures, find stability so you're no longer on that teeter-totter, and have a great relationship with yourself, your money, and your family. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for listening. And I'll see you guys in our next episode. Have a great day.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her.